When you think of creepy crawlies, what comes to mind? Spiders, roaches, maybe even slugs or snails. Well, today we're going to talk about millipedes. So let's get started. Hey there, welcome back to Wild Wonders, where we bring you the most amazing wildlife videos on the internet. Make sure to hit that subscribe button so you're always the first to see our new videos. But enough about us. Let's talk about millipedes. How many legs does a millipede have? Well, the name itself gives it away. The word millipede means 1,000 feet. This is where people often get confused because millipedes are not actually a type of centipede. As much as they look similar, these guys aren't even in the same order. Instead, they're part of the class Diplopoda, while centipedes are part of the class Chilopoda, though they do share the same body plan, like a long, slender, segmented body and a hardened shell. These similarities make sense since they are both arthropods and, more specifically, both belong to the subphylum Myriapoda. The main difference between a centipede and a millipede is how many legs each body segment has. On a centipede, each segment has a single pair of legs, whereas on a millipede, each segment has 2 pairs of legs. We can see this here on this guy. If we look closely at his segments, we can see that he has 2 pairs of legs per segment. So, if the name wasn't giving it away already, how many legs does a millipede have? Well, basically, they can have anywhere from 30 to over 100 pairs of legs. So that would mean that some millipedes can have over 200 legs. That is wild. But hold on a second. Let's go back to the name. Do millipedes really have 1,000 feet? Well, some do, but not in the way you might think. You see, a millipede's legs don't grow longer as it grows up. In fact, when a millipede molts, its legs stay the same length as before. Instead, as a millipede grows, it simply adds more pairs of legs. Most species reach their full number of legs after about 2 years. At this point, they will stop growing and molting altogether. And for the rest of their life, they'll just keep on creeping. Speaking of molting, when a millipede does molt, it leaves behind its old exoskeleton in one piece. Sometimes you can find these abandoned shells near where millipedes are living. They won't reuse their old shell, but other insects sometimes will. As far as their color goes, millipedes come in all different shades. Some are black or dark brown, while others are red, orange, or yellow. Many are banded or striped, which helps camouflage them in the forest floor litter. Even though they're small, many species can be seen during the day. But what do millipedes eat? Well, they're detritivores, meaning that they feed on dead and decaying plant matter. They also eat organic matter such as manure, dead animals, and compost. To digest these foods, millipedes have symbiotic bacteria that live in their guts. These bacteria allow them to break down cellulose, which is the main component of plant cell walls. And just like any other animal, millipedes need water to survive. However, they absorb water through their skin, so they can't live in super dry environments. In fact, they prefer to live in damp forests, under logs, stones, and leaf litter. Some species even burrow into the ground. Speaking of burrowing, many predators rely on millipedes as an important food source. Birds, amphibians, reptiles, fish, and even mammals eat millipedes. Some animals, like hedgehogs, will seek them out as a meal. And some animals, like salamanders, will eat them by accident. However, there are only a few species of millipede that are poisonous. They contain toxic hydrogen cyanide in their bodies, which they secrete when they feel threatened. However, it takes a lot to actually kill an animal, even a predator. So most millipedes aren't too worried about being eaten. Now let's talk about reproduction. Millipedes usually mate during the spring and summer months, but you won't see them doing it unless you're very lucky. And by lucky, I mean you need to be in the right place at the right time and have a macro lens on your camera. Just kidding, it's still pretty rare. During mating, the male millipede will often perform a sort of dance. He'll move his body in a certain way that releases pheromones. This lets the female know that he's ready to mate. After the male releases his sperm, he'll leave it in a little sac on the ground. Then the female will take the sperm back to her burrow with her. She'll give birth to her babies a couple of months later. Baby millipedes are called millipedes. How original! There are typically 20 to 50 millipedes in each litter. They stay with mum until they're about a month old. At this point, they're big enough to venture out on their own. Unfortunately, many won't make it due to predators and other dangers. Those that do survive will continue to molt and grow until they reach their full size. At this point, they'll be able to start their own families and the cycle will continue. Many species of millipede live for 2 to 3 years, but some can live up to 7. So even though millipedes are small, their lives aren't necessarily short. So what's the largest species of millipede? The answer may surprise you. It's not even close. The title of largest millipede goes to Archisperostropus geezus. This African giant millipede can grow up to 35 centimeters long. That's 14 inches. Not only that, but it can have over 250 pairs of legs. Talk about a mouthful. These massive millipedes live in burrows that they dig with their powerful legs. They spend most of their time eating decomposing vegetation. On the other hand, the smallest known species of millipede is named Elimia minima. These tiny creatures are only about 3 millimeters long, which is about the width of a penny. This species was discovered in the early 1900s in Virginia. Even after 100 years, scientists haven't found another one. So we don't know much about its life history or behavior. With over 12,000 species described so far, there are bound to be many more undiscovered species. So who knows what other mini marvels we have yet to learn about? As far as which country has the most species of millipede, it's probably not the one you would guess. Out of all the countries in the world, Australia has the highest number of native millipede species. There are over 2,000 species here. This makes sense considering that Australia is home to many unique animals and plants that are found nowhere else on Earth. So what should you do if you find a millipede in your house? First of all, don't freak out. Although some species can secrete a foul-smelling liquid when threatened, none are actually venomous. And remember, they're just trying to survive. So the best thing to do is to put them outside. Simply scoop it up with a shovel or a credit card and release it into your backyard. If it happens to be a large or poisonous species, you could call your local pest control company to come and collect it. Even though millipedes can seem scary, they're actually beneficial for the ecosystem. By eating dead and decaying matter, they help recycle nutrients back into the environment. Without millipedes and other decomposers, our planet would be filled with waste very quickly. Do you think millipedes are fascinating or maybe even a little creepy? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an amazing Wild Wonders video. Thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more just like it, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe for new videos every week.